Hey there, Ed McCormack here, founder of the crypto education platform, Dchained. And in today's video, I am thrilled to tell you about a historic event that we in the crypto community have been waiting years to happen, which is the first country has finally accepted a cryptocurrency, in this case Bitcoin, as legal tender. And it's going to have massive implications around the world, especially in Latin America. We'll talk all about that in a moment. At the end of this, we'll also touch upon some news that could be fairly alarming here in the US as it relates to our economy and the potential rise in inflation that we could be expecting in the coming months and years ahead. So we'll talk all about that right now. So as I alluded to, the first country, El Salvador, has accepted Bitcoin as legal tender, meaning its citizens can now use Bitcoin for goods and services, purchase a home, or even pay their taxes. And this is a huge deal, especially in that part of the world, for a number of reasons. And it could ultimately lead to other countries in Latin America, Argentina, Mexico, Brazil, Nicaragua, to follow suit. And there are three reasons that this is a really big deal specifically for El Salvador. The first reason is access to financial services. Roughly 70% of citizens in El Salvador don't have access to basic banking services, like a checking or savings account, access to open up lines of credit, or even take out a loan to go to school, open a business, or to buy a home. However, the vast majority of these citizens own phones. And that's something that we've talked about in other videos where if you look at parts of the world where they have a struggling financial infrastructure, we also see high rates of mobile phone ownership. And why that's really interesting in this scenario is with a mobile device, an application for that device, and we'll talk more about some of these mobile wallets in a moment, and Bitcoin, you've now created a decentralized, de facto financial system where I can very easily pull up my app, such as PayPal, which is now making it easy for customers to decide to pay with it, and merchants don't even have to invest in any new technology. PayPal will automatically convert any cryptocurrency into the local currency. You now have a really simple way to pay for goods and services right from the convenience of your phone. At the same time, it's also going to have an impact on a huge part of the El Salvadorian economy, which is remittances. So remittances, which is very simply citizens who live abroad who send money home, account for a very large percent, roughly a third of the overall economy for El Salvador. And with a struggling financial system in that country, you now have means of expatriates who are sending money home without having to actually go through all of those traditional pipes. They could send it directly to friends and family in their app, hold that value, and it's available within minutes. So for a part of their economy which ultimately is being threatened because of issues with its overall financial infrastructure, you now have a way to not only help mitigate the risk that money stops flowing in, but potentially even increase the overall interest and rates of inflows for these remittances. But they might not need that, which brings us to the third point, which is with the overall decision to make Bitcoin legal tender, you can expect that there's going to be a surge in interest from foreign investors. In recent years, we've seen businesses, governments, citizens, people who are looking to get into the blockchain and crypto world, looking for local jurisdictions that have regulation that's friendly towards cryptocurrency. Bermuda, Antigua, Singapore, for a minute that just sounded like a Beach Boys song, Malta. These are countries that have actually increased the rate of tourism and foreign investment into their country by creating these crypto-friendly regulations pretty much overnight. And I wouldn't be surprised to see El Salvador start to climb that very short list of countries that businesses and investors look towards in order to set up shop in the crypto space. You can also expect that there's going to be interest from tourists as well, who are going to want to stop in and check this out. Maybe there's a way that they can actually purchase a home or some type of beachfront property with their Bitcoin. So keep a close eye on that. And I think it could have some really big implications, if not for anything, less reliance on the potential of US dollar decreasing in its overall value. So keep a close eye on how this small decision to make Bitcoin legal tender could impact the way that its citizens are storing value and how they interact through the financial system, the way that foreign investors are coming into the market, and of course, the way that money is flowing internationally back home into that country. But at the same time, there's some alarming news that's recently come out in the US about our overall economy and the potential impact that printing all of this money over the last year and a half to fight off any potential financial crisis from COVID-19 could be having on the cost of our everyday lives. So the Consumer Price Index just came out for May 2021. And the Consumer Price Index just simply looks at what is the overall cost of living minus food and energy compared to a year ago. And the news is not that pleasant. We're seeing that the overall cost of everyday goods is up about 5.2%. Now, that might not seem like a lot at the surface, but the last time that we saw numbers like that was in 2008, in the heart of the housing crisis here. So again, it's one number, one of many economic figures that are going to get thrown out. But it could be a canary in the coal mine to let you know that we could be facing some pretty tight strains coming in on our overall economy and potential loss of valuation on the US dollar. With more money being printed, inevitably, the value of that dollar you're holding is going to decline. So keep a close eye on it and ultimately look at how that could be impacting the overall decisions for those countries that are on the fence about making cryptocurrency legal tender. Could sway them to actually make that happen as they start to look at ways to divest their reliance on the US dollar. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it with your friends and family, and come check us out at Dchained.com. We'd love to have you and share more of all the content that we're producing and have you join us for some of our weekly live Q&As and webinars. So until next time, happy and safe investing, and I'll speak with you soon.